Ready for our second game here today in Fort Worth, and somewhat of a home game for 1 seed Texas as they face 5 seed Kentucky in this Sweet 16 matchup. Michigan has already advanced with an impressive performance against Louisville. So Key and Cunningham to jump it up. Harmon grabs it, and here we go from Fort Worth in this Sweet 16 matchup.
You see Kentucky starting out in a man-to-man. Amelia Hassett, 6'3", with the length, defending Booker.
Lee short on a 3. Carlton the rebound. Jordan Lee has accounted for 45% of Texas's made threes this season. Here's Harmon firing. Can't hit. Booker, what a board, keeps it alive. Another chance for Texas. Booker circling, driving, missing. And finally, Kentucky comes down with the board. 3 really good looks, though, from Texas on that first possession. Great job getting to the offensive glass. Here's Morgan into the corner. Hassett buries the 3. Amelia Hassett, who has set a school record this season. That is now her 99th 3. Amelia Hassett and Asia Boone are both players for Kentucky who run to the corners, give you spacing because of their ability to drain threes. Carlton, back to Lee. The sophomore Lee spinning, then gets the roll. Nice take by Jordan Lee. You have to guard her out to the three-point line. That time Boone fought over the screen, but still able to hit the pull-up. Eddie Brooks talked about that pressure Texas will apply pre-inbound, and then they back off. And this is what they did in their regular season meeting, was have Tiani Key bring the ball up and initiate the offense. Boone, short on her jumper. Here comes Harmon. Carlton will fire, and hit. Just 12.5 threes a game. That's 356th in Division I. But they do have many more capable three-point shooters this year. Strack left alone, can't hit. Key on the offensive glass, misses the putback. Texas with numbers the other way. Harmon, what a feed, and Carlton lays it in. Carlton saw that Tiani Key had fallen down on one end, so put on the jets for the rim run. Morgan couldn't finish. Again, Harmon, Lee, another 2 in transition. This building buzzing with Texas fans. A 9-0 Longhorn run after the Hassett 3 to get things going for Kentucky. Now Strack will try. No. Booker couldn't grab it. Harmon does. Look at this. Again, Lee running out and laying it in. Timeout, Kentucky. Misses both free throws there. Here's Morgan into the corner. Strack attacking. Dishes out. Obi in off the bench for Kentucky. Lob it in. Harmon the steal. Harmon with pace. Booker wheels back. Gets fouled hard. And it'll stay with Texas. Kentucky trying to get back to the Elite 8 for the first time since 2013. Harmon dishing. Here's Cunningham. Cunningham found the angle. It is a 13-0 Texas run. We saw Michigan use a 16-0 run in the second and 18-0 run in the third to separate from Louisville. Harmon knocks it away. Another turnover. Lee leaking out again. A 15-0 Texas run. Obi kicks it out. Key, mid-range, feathery. You know, so far, she hasn't scored, but she has 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, making this impact without having to put the ball in the hoop. Again, we saw it in the first game as well, but a small point guard and their ability to get to the glass. Well, it's usually Texas who forces the 5-second violation. Inbound to Morgan. Second in the nation in assists. Morgan, the pull-up. Won't go. Rebound, Cunningham. Here comes Booker. Over to Harmon, mid-range. Money for Rori Harmon.
Madison Booker just does such a good job when she's at the lead guard spot, assessing the situation and knowing who to deliver the basketball to.
Wide open underneath. Layup is good on the delivery from Morgan. Booker wide open. And a foul going the other way as Cunningham.
Kyla Oldacre now in the game for her.
Morgan able to control off the pressure. Oldacre, Booker, Carlton, Lee, and Harmon for Texas. Morgan, Obi, Carroll, Strack, and Hassett for Kentucky. Strack, a good look there. Won't go. Booker, excellent job tracking that rebound. Here's Booker. Weaving, fading, and hitting.
I mean, Texas, when they are able to make shots, holy cow, they apply so much defensive pressure on you. We know that.
So many games in recent years, living and dying with every possession, trying to eke out a win in the 60s, said, now we're really scoring.
I think he usually ends the sentence with y'all.
Yeah, this time
you started it.
In the retelling. This is based on a true story. As Obi lays it in.
Nice job, Obi, using her frame there to get inside, post up, tough finish.
So you have Hassett, Morgan, Boone, Strack, and Key, the original starting five. Lee, does she get the roll? No. Oldacre, oh, look out. Almost took Strack's head with the ball and lays it in. Lob it inside. Strack gets fouled, and Clara Strack.
Oldacre here just reaches up, grabs the ball. Strack goes down. Oldacre just corrals it while Strack's head is on her foot. And then able to go up and finish.
Well, you worry about Strack's leg, too, the way it got bent underneath her. As Strack misses the first free throw, 67% on the season. Missed them both. Both teams 0 for 2 from the line.
Kentucky now in a 2-3 zone. They played a heavy dose of this in the first matchup as well.
Harmon, mid-range, sure. Texas blitzing Kentucky from the bounce. 23-9, the Longhorns lead it. The trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Key held up, turning, and getting the roll.
Texas really limiting any ability to get a high-low look. So that time, Key just put it on the deck herself, had nice patience in finishing.
Lee lobs it in, and Oldacre finishes.
Oldacre got her defender on her back at the free throw line, held her there until her guard could lead her with the pass to the bucket.
Texas is shooting over 70% from the floor in this first quarter as Kentucky turns it over. Brianna Preston into the game for Texas. You see Oldacre, the growth throughout her career, had big moments last year and has been even more consistently productive this season.
And the headshot on the graphic is the only time you're going to see her smile.
Booker can't squeeze it in. Loose ball. Preston out to Lee. Preston's had some really big moments latter stages of the season for Texas. Carlton can't finish. Oldacre again.
Saw that on that move. She didn't convert, but that's exactly what she did offensively.
Dick said, y'all. She's the toughest, most physical player I ever scouted in high school.
Y'all.
That's right. Bookends the sentences that way. Texas with 6 offensive rebounds on their 7 missed field goals. Booker. 3 seconds left. What a swivel. And Madison Booker lays it in. How hot is Texas? Absolute mission. Keep in mind, that includes the SEC tournament as well, where they were playing some fierce opponents. They're 10-0. They've won games by an average of 26 points. They've trailed for less than 8 minutes total in those games. And they've looked a lot like the way they've looked to start this game. As Key can't finish it, Oldacre. Those paws are like glue. Preston trying to find an angle. Lobbing it in, Oldacre, what position? Couldn't quite finish it as Key was able to hang.
Kentucky back into a man-to-man, and wow, yeah, Oldacre just got great position but couldn't finish.
Hassett, back iron it off. Key keeps it alive for Kentucky. Here's Morgan. Lobbing it in. Key with Oldacre on her. Key gets fouled by Oldacre.
With the foul on Oldacre.
Holly?
Well, you can see she's wearing that big elbow brace. And she said it was really hard. She had to do a lot of different things to try to stay in shape where you don't need to use your upper body, whether that's a Versa climber.
We were talking about that a little bit, partner. I mean, Key is going to be really interesting to watch where she lands on draft night.
And certainly a player who you feel like she has still a lot of room to grow.
Yes. That's something Kenny Brooks has talked to us about as well. Wow. What a tough bucket from Booker with Key's length right in her face. Hassett, shovel, Strack, no. Sidbury there to make a difference. Booker picks it up. Booker dishing. Preston will back it out. Booker mid-range. Oh, yeah. Speaking of being great pros, I mean, she's a future MVP.
Oh, yes, yes.
Morgan scoots in. Tough bucket there. At some point is going to play a huge role for them if they're going to eventually win a championship.
She struggled with her shooting a little bit in the first 2 rounds, but they know ultimately at some point they're going to need that added threat from the perimeter.
Harmon connects on a 3. She doesn't shoot him often, but when she does, it's accurate. Now 12 for 26 on the season. Strack lays it in.
Since you always acknowledge my coughing,
yeah,
should I acknowledge your coughing
I can't,
that you're having right now?
You can. The tickle is still
there.
It might come back, so just be ready. Thanks for picking me up, though, partner, as Lee gets fouled.
But yeah, Crump, especially if you go against a team that is going to be able to limit you in the mid-range, a player who can bring that extra dimension to this Texas team.
And, you know, you look at Rori Harmon being able to shoot that 3. She adds that dimension, and Ryan, she doesn't do a lot, as you mentioned. She told me that, you know, the last couple of years she has been rehabbing nonstop from that ACL tear. So this last offseason was really the first time she was able to get in the gym and just work on her shot, not trying to rehab or come back from an injury. So that 3-point shot is coming along. She thinks it can get even better to help her chances in the pros.
No doubt, Ollie. It'll be a big weapon for her, for sure. As Morgan, Harmon mid-range, won't go. Good box out there from Strack. Kentucky makes some inroads here before the end of the half. Morgan stops and throws it away. Here's Harmon off the steal. Harmon, she got it. Meanwhile, Harmon also has not turned it over once.
I mean, that's always the big thing for Vic Schaefer. Taking care of the basketball.
Rori third in the country in assist to turnover ratio. That's going to end up in the gutter.
Twice in a row. Iverson action and then the ball entry into Tiani Key, and they can't get it there because of the deny defense by Texas. They just make catching the basketball difficult.
Carlton the lob in, Cunningham the lay. Beautiful offense there from Texas. Boone fires and hits from three. I was dealing with an optical illusion. I'm glad you could see what was actually happening. As long as one of us can. Here's Harmon. Carlton off one leg, drops it in, but a travel. Here's
saving it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Through.
Wow.
Oh, I love the super slow-mo.
Yeah, our crew has been all over it here in Fort Worth. As Harmon comes up with another steal. Harmon dishes, Crump backs away. Crump finds an angle and slides in for two. Final four, Friday, April 3rd on ESPN. And now look, another turnover.
Another deflection just because nobody can get open to catch a pass.
Harmon, it also, Rebecca, Harmon has always been fast.
Harmon, yeah, it took her a little time to get that speed and explosiveness back. But she certainly has it this season and certainly has it today.
And Texas has been able to keep Madison Booker on the bench for a while as Lee sticks it, plus the foul. Jordan Lee, a chance for three. What do you think that celebration is for Madison?
I don't know. It looks like a really giant heart is pumping.
Yeah, I think it is. Crump. No.
Drea and Chene can tell us if it has anything to do with a TikTok dance. Or Holly.
I saw Christine, Drea, and Chene. They've had some nice March TikTok dances today during this run in the studio during this tournament. As Key can't finish it. Cunningham able to rip it away and control it for Texas. Crump the bounce, Lee the weight. And the lay. Texas is putting on a show here in Fort Worth. Morgan can't fling it in. Foul on Cunningham. Free throws for Strack.
Every type of thing about a defense, she can really break it down and be eloquent with it. And when we talked to Vic Schaefer about it, he's like, she is brilliant from a basketball perspective. I want her to be a thoracic surgeon. She wants to be a dermatologist. But we did find out later that dermatologist is a much more difficult profession. So she can do whatever she wants, but we think she's one of the smartest players on the floor right now.
And Holly, of course she thinks everyone should play zone against her. She's a three-point shooter.
That's right. Meanwhile, I think Vic also has ideas about the kind of pro.
Another one of the incredible sophomores here in this region.
Right. We saw them with Louisville and Michigan earlier. Oldacre. This is the second. Carlton the rebound, kicks it out. Lee short on a three. Strack the rebound. I mean, Booker has been able to sit for most of the second quarter because of this. Strack banks it in, plus the foul. Clara Strack.
Strack gets the opportunity for the three.
Some of Clara Strack's numbers that she's put up this season are startling. The last SEC player to average at least 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks, Asia Wilson. Back in the 17-18 season. That's what Clara Strack is doing this year. Shot clock is turned off. Carlton gives it up. Harmon, pitter-patter dribble, the fade, no. And the tip from Oldacre, wow. Nearly a deep, long. Today in the Sweet 16 against Kentucky. Winner will face Michigan Monday. In the Elite Eight, Strack turning, taking, Cannon, Harmon the rebound, pushing pace, backs it out. Harmon fading away. Wow. I mean, she has just played at a completely different speed than everybody else. Strack dishes out. Key. Harmon knocks it away. Here's Strack, a clean look, and buries the three. Good delivery from Key and Clara Strack.
Let the rest of the team see that they can have success even when Booker's not on the floor.
Booker, a little Sweet 16 wedgie.
The midway point, it's right on the equator of the basketball is where the wedgie happens. That one was interesting.
An under wedgie. And how about Booker? Booker's like, I got this, don't worry, punch. Yeah. And then take herself to the line.
There you go.
Wow, how about even at the line? Booker 0 for 3 now. Morgan, what a drive and finish from Tony Morgan. Leads the nation in total assists. Set a single-season Kentucky record, breaking the record from Georgia Amore a year ago. Does have 8 turnovers today. Booker, that's the stroke.
Little step back that time. Strack had switched on to her, but she was able to create the space she needed with the step back.
Strack getting free and laying it in. Looked like she might have gotten away with a walk. And obviously worth documenting.
Yeah, and only Holly Rowe could go interview and find out the actual dimensions.
That foul, the 4th on Obi, as Cunningham banks it in.
How about the pass from Booker? She like hot potatoed the basketball in.
Successfully so. Cunningham, now 8 points, is 4 of 4 from the floor. Here's Boone. Morgan drives around Booker and lays it in. Good take there from Tony Morgan. A senior who spent 3 years at Georgia Tech. Kenny Brooks famously told her this year, you're not coming to fill Georgia's shoes, bring your own shoes. And she has helped lead this Kentucky team to the Sweet 16. What a dish. Lee into Cunningham for the finish.
I think she just felt that Cunningham was there and saw the defenders, because the way her head is turned, she could not have fully seen that Cunningham was open. Just felt it and saw the defense.
Lob it in, Obi. Little push shot won't go. Booker the rebound. 2:30 to go in the third here in the Sweet 16 matchup. Booker, sure.
The Wildcat is required to be a certain height to even try out. Now, this one is on the higher end of that, but they do like a tall mascot.
Wow. And Holly, that is just incredible information.
You must be this tall to fit in the costume.
Right. So
I wonder if they have a thing like at amusement parks. You just go stand in front of the thing. All right, you're tall enough to try out.
They might be able to eyeball it, too.
Maybe. I like the other idea better.
Me too. Preston, smooth stroke. Morgan lobs it in. Key got bumped. Can't finish. Kentucky this year 22-2 when they score at least 70. 3 and 8 below that. And it's this Texas defense. 3rd in the nation in defensive rating.
Kentucky back in the 2-3 zone defense.
Oldacre deep catch. Been slinging in off the window. Key the rebound. Morgan giving it up. Strack, great entry feed. Key kicks it out. Hassett can't hit the 3. Strack the save, but right to Preston. Preston behind the back. No look to Booker. What a highlight.
You see Preston, she's so quick and dynamic, out in transition behind the back, and then leaves the pass. And then she's being her own hype man, as you mentioned, coming back down the floor. Look, just looking away and running away, doesn't even look at Madison Booker in the aftermath, just knows she's going to deliver.
Vic hasn't had to take that jacket off in this game.
I'm wondering how much voice he's going to have left tomorrow.
Send that man some Manuka honey.
That's right.
Boone, the leaner is good, plus the foul. Nice take there from Asia Boone, and a chance for three. Boone completes the three-point play. And that'll do it for the third. Texas. Anna Hidalgo with a historic performance in Notre Dame's win against Vanderbilt yesterday. Sarah Strong doing what she does. And Olivia Olson, very impressive, because didn't get off to a great start, but the Michigan sophomore settled in and helped lead the Wolverines to just the second Elite Eight in program history. Preston gets the roll there. Strack. I want to remind you, a couple more Sweet 16 games today will be on ESPN and the app as Strack rings in a three. Lee, not an accurate pass. Trying to get it into Oldacre against the zone.
She needed to get it to Madison Booker on the right baseline.
Boone waits, takes, and hits from three. And now Kentucky will take a timeout. Joyce Edwards, 20-plus, 21 times this season. That game coming up next on ESPN. Let's take a look at what Aaliyah Chavez did in that game in the regular season against South Carolina. South Carolina 62-2 in SEC play over the last 4 seasons. Just incredible when you consider how difficult that conference is. Chavez had 15 points in that overtime, hit 4 threes. It was stunning to behold. See what the freshman talent has in store tonight.
Felt like that overtime was her coming out party.
Yes. Boone banks it in. Well, things are starting to get a little interesting here. Winner will face Michigan in the Elite Eight Monday. That game will be 7 Eastern on ESPN. Oldacre able to bank it in. Big bucket there to end the 8-0 run. Boone lost it. Carlton gets it ahead. Booker waits and finishes. $17 for Madison Booker. And now another steal. Lee flags it down. Texas crowd applauding the response. Lee, a three. You bet. About to be one win away from a trip back to the Final Four.
And anytime you watch a Vic Schaefer coach team, you know they are going to be tough. They will play with a lot of heart. They are going to make your life incredibly difficult on the defensive end of the floor. This is his most gifted offensive team he's had since coming to Texas.
Strack lost her footing and the ball. Booker comes up with it. Booker tosses ahead. Lee will lay it in. How good has Jordan Lee been in transition today? Up to 18 points. Maybe a little knee-to-knee.
Oh, you see exactly.
Yeah. Texas will empty their bench.
Kenny Brooks has always had good success in the portal, bringing in players. Good recruiting class as well.
This year, getting Kentucky to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016, and they have the number 4 recruiting class coming in.
more significant contributor to a WNBA team.
Preston gets it in. Oldacre, good position. Key fouls her.
But it is going to be a fun game to watch just in terms of the full court pressure applied by both teams.
They both force about 22 turnovers a game. Oldacre misses them both. Morgan. And Key gets fouled. Most notably, the only single-digit game UConn has played during their 52-game winning streak was against Michigan. And here's the reaction for Sarah Graves coming in. Parents rocking the split shirts there. John and Nicole Graves. Holly?
Well, her sister plays for Louisville, but she doesn't often get into games, and you heard the crowd absolutely go wild. Sarah Graves has been the energy giver for this team. She put out a very impressive LinkedIn bio that was like, if you're looking for someone in your company who brings the energy, uplifts others, even though they're not the one getting rewarded, I'm your person. She has become a crowd favorite, and that she's getting in this day that her sister has played for Louisville, and she's getting on the court. Pretty special for her and her family.
No doubt, Ollie. And Graves, you know they want her to shoot, gives it up instead. Judd gets denied. Graves was able to get on the scoreboard for Texas in the second round as Key fouls Oldacre. And here was the Graves bucket in the first round against Missouri State, and then does a little ice in the veins. Getting the crowd going, and then she got to do the moving on slap on the bracket. See the Graves family with
the call on the floor is a personal foul on 7 Blue. That play is under further review for a possible upgrade.
It is incredible seeing the way the crowd and her teammates respond to her.
What a moment for her family and her parents, too. I absolutely love that, and that we got to see it.
Sarah Graves has scored in the Sweet 16. Lob it in, Oldacre. Oldacre can't finish. Rebound, Kentucky. 10 seconds remaining. Hassett's three is off. Into the arms of Oldacre, and for a third straight season, Texas is headed to the Elite Eight.